All right, well, we finished the Korthos Elite run, the Borderlands Reaper 1 run, and now we just have some easy, normal, hard runs to unlock Reaper. So I'm going to start with the Waterworks. With chains, the Waterworks are level 3 and 4, and Seal Chanticore is level 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to run the full chains on normal and hard, and then I'm going to run, in future levels, I'm just going to run the Reapers as per normal 4 levels above. So in the waterworks, the level threes are just straight ahead from that bridge. The fours are you take a right when you get to that person, that NPC. This is going to seem exceptionally easy after the Borderlands Reapers. The Reapers were, I don't want to say easier than I thought because I didn't think they were going to be super hard, but we didn't get close to dying. I thought we might die or get close to dying in a couple of those. Uh, I probably will repeat those one more time to get a little Reaper XP. Once you get to level 3, I think the game's raised a little bit because not only do you have Reapers, but you have champions. Level 1 and level 2 Reapers are the only ones without champions. So I'm going to repeat the level ones. I'm going to repeat the level ones once for basically the daily bonus. Plus, there's no the first time, the second time you run a quest, there's no ransack penalty. So, but we wouldn't have to worry about that anyways because we'll run it roughly 18 hours later. The reset time is 18 hours. So once you've run a quest, 18 hours later, you could rerun it, and that'll be sometime tonight. And I think we have quite a bit of content to run. We have to run this on normal hard, Shanticore on normal to hard, Catacombs normal to hard, and a bunch of other level threes on normal and hard. So I'm not worried. I mean, I think we're already at rank 29. We're almost maxed. So we don't have any monster manuals, so we probably won't get any additional XP. But we're going to be way, way, way over the level. Now the good thing is hopefully we'll have a lot of plat. At the moment, I got about 4,000 from Korthos and Borderland. I used some money on potions. I'd like to actually get more potions for next level. I used some money on this nice pair of gloves, which is probably the best item I own at the moment. And I used some money on my medium collectible bag, which I was desperate to have. And so next, I'd like to, before the end of this level, get a medium gem bag because my gem bag has overflowed many times. Okay, almost forgot where that trap was. Way back here. If you're running pure paladin instead of splashing rogue, you would just jump over this trap. All right, another trap here. This is a one-time trap, so you could actually. All right, I'm gonna get my designated bad Oozebane weapon. I'll try to maybe find a better one actually. I'm gonna disable this trap, but if you can't disable this trap, you sort of run in, set it off, and then it'll go off. You could wait it out, or you could just jump over it. Yeah, if you don't have trapping skills, one, you should you should stock haste potions and jump potions from the house K vendor. All right, the house K vendor, guild vendor, because running fast will basically a speed boost. Well, you could use your expeditious retreat boots. That's almost as good. Um, but a speed boost will allow you to jump further, and then the jump skill will allow you to jump higher. And so that combination is usually your best way to avoid trap damage. This is not going to be very challenging. I made a sort of a decision to post everything I do, like every piece of equipment I get, in case people were interested. But if this run is certainly not going to be very challenging. So if you want to watch the hard run, or just wait till I post it on Reaper. Um, my plan for Reaper. Oop, I should get my magic missile gloves on. We have 20 minutes of it. You can see I've been getting hit by magic missiles quite a bit, and I don't have my hireling, which I should have, but I do have a few potions, and I have my 2 lay-on-hands. I don't think I've had to use my lay-on-hands. I've been saving that for like a true emergency. Like, I'm down to 10 or 15, imminent death. So I just haven't had that yet, even on Reaper. There's actually 2 locations where you can get this chest. The easiest one is here, although I think it's here a little bit less frequently. But you could check this one first, and I did not see it. Here's another spider. These Black Widows web you, they're kind of annoying. But if it's here, you don't have to go fight that room of kobolds. Of course, the last thing we're worried about is fighting this room of kobolds on normal. It's super, super easy. But on Reaper, if you get that chest there, you might fight those 2 spiders plus a boss. Although web is pretty rough, so it could be that you wanna actually just this room's easier, a little easier, even though there's more enemies. So that's also a consideration. All right, and this chest could be in many locations up here, but it's always up here. And there you can see it's here. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here, and sometimes behind that pillar. Really probably don't need it, but I'm just going to go ahead and get my hit points back since we're getting close to ending the quest, and I won't have another chance. And my approach on this is for the normal and hard runs. I'm going to post those in their entirety as a single video. Uh, I think there's probably less interest in that, maybe more interest in the Reapers, because it's harder, and people might wonder, how do I approach those a little, because it's a little different, and people may have had a bad experience in those. So, whoop, did I miss something? So I'm going to post the Reaper videos individually, so that if somebody wants to see how do I do this one quest, or why, uh, they could just check it out. Most of the Borderland videos were in the neighborhood of 5-6 minutes, and I don't have all those memorized, so I sometimes take a few pads I don't need to take. Over time, what happens is I get to where I really get optimized, and I don't go a single way I don't need to go. But at the moment, I'm still learning those quests. I've actually usually skip them quite a bit, because or I have traditionally skipped them quite a bit, if not running for favor, because you don't need to run all the content to get experience. I mean, we're going to be way over the experience, but we're really focused on favor as a first life character, so it's just a different focus. At some point, once we sort of have everything we need, we might be just wanting to get the lives, get a specific build to 30, or get to 30 to run raids or whatever. But right now the focus is really more on let's get favor to get some of these expansions we don't have, to get the epic destinies we don't have, to get the um, some races and classes we don't have. My expeditious retreats obviously felt really slow there, has obviously worn off. You can see that magic missile thing going off. They only use it on normal, which is odd because it's not very effective on normal because it's low damage, but it would be very effective on elite because there's no save to it. But they only have this on normal. As mentioned before, on hard we'll see Scorching Ray, which has no save, and Hold, which we have a little bit lower will save, so we'll see that pop up from time to time. I'm going to try to find a good before we get to Reapers. I'm going to try to find a good save item, which isn't for Hold because they don't do Hold on Elite or Reaper, but for their Lightning Bolt because their Lightning Bolt could be deadly. I'm also going to try to find an Electric Resistance and Absorb item because that's sort of their iconic spell on Elite is Lightning Bolt, and it could be deadly. I think a crit could actually one shot one shot us, although we will normally evade. It may not one shot, but if you get hit by two lightning bolts, I think you could definitely die quick on Reaper. This is Arlos, the NPC. We're going to eventually escort him, but before we do that, we're going to kill every kobold because if he dies, the quest fails, and he dies easy. He actually is a Zerger, so he'll run, and if he sees a kobold, he'll run and attack him, even though I don't know, he has like very few hit points and will die right away. Once there's already some kobolds that have respawned, so we're gonna go back before we talk to them. We're gonna play it very safe. Go back, kill all those kobolds, and then escort them out. With ranged, you could sort of just, it's a little easier to kill them ahead. But with melee, because he charges them and he's roughly the same distance as us, a little bit unsafe to escort him out until you clear the trash. Let's see. Well, I don't see them, but there should be some there, and maybe they'll spawn as we get back closer. We'll talk to them, we'll tell them to stay in place, and then go kill everything. All right, hidden chest there. Another level 1 feather falling ring. We'll probably save that for now because we have a cloak level 1, but if we end up finding a better level 1 cloak, maybe we'll use that ring. If nothing else, that's an easy item to sell on the auction house. All right, so we've cleared everything. I think I missed the chest actually. Let me go back up and get it since we're desperate for money and for items right now. I'm trying to find rings and cloaks that have both the same element for absorb and resist on them, because I noticed as I ran, try 4 attempts to try to when I tried on elite housekeeping to get the ghostly trinket, I noticed that that was quite a challenge on elite. And that was because I didn't have the proper resist. Those quests are, for the level, a little harder than most others, at least I think. All right, these are up. My expeditious treats were off, which means my shield probably wore off. So now we've cleared everything. So now I'm just going to go back and escort them. It takes a little longer to do this, but repeating the quest, it takes even longer. So especially when you're new, I really recommend just clearing this path before you forge ahead with Arlos, because I know I failed this quest before when I was newer. For that very reason, he just charged ahead and died. And once you've cleared the way, he'll follow behind you, and it's, no risk at this point. And the quest ends when you get to this end of the line here, where you started the quest. Let's see if I can bring my hireling out here. I'm going to bring him out, and for the level 4s, I mean, I don't expect those to be hard, but sometimes they'll do a little damage to me, and I might as well top myself off with him. All right, we have to, before running the 4s, we have to talk to him. You cannot use your horse in this wilderness, I think, because it's more like a dungeon than a normal wilderness. There are some slayers in here, like these spots, hidden spots. There's slayers in there, or possible slayers in there. I'm not going to worry about any of that because we actually have the opposite problem. We're going to be wasting a lot of XP this level, especially since I want to rerun the Keep on the Borderlands Reapers one more time once I'm off the 18-hour timer to try to get a little more Reaper XP. Have my ooze weapon on, and you see there's a bunch of oozes in this beginning part. And if this weapon breaks, oozes don't have a lot of hit points, so I just use this caster weapon on them as something I don't mind sacrificing. But if it breaks, I'll just use one of my other quarterstaffs. I have two other level 1 quarterstaffs, and so I don't have a used weapon. I didn't get it. It didn't drop in Waterworks for me, or in not Waterworks, Dirk's Secret, or Dirk's Secret. But it we haven't had a problem yet of weapons breaking in the middle of quests. On Reaper, the way we want to approach this, there could be some Reapers we see in the beginning, and then some could spawn when enemies die. And this room has a lot of enemies, so Reaper spawns are very likely, much more likely than say when the oozes are there. So the approach we're going to take is to try to kill as many things as possible, uh, without aggroing the room, and then only jump down and kill the rest when we've killed everything that's come after us. This looks like the natural way. There's a pretty tough rare in here. I skip it, um, especially on Reaper. So I just like to get in the habit of doing the same thing on normal and hard that I do on Reaper, which is the hardest difficulty because otherwise, inevitably, if I don't do it the same way, I'll forget and go somewhere I shouldn't on Reaper. Just noticed I didn't do my daily dice roll. It's always good to do that whenever it's available. It resets every 18 hours, and the XP we don't really need, but sometimes you get a nice item like jeweler's kit. All right, so uh, I don't think I saved any of the items, but now if we uh, if we find if we find an item that has a good augment in it that we want, we could extract it and put it in an augment item that we like. You just have to pull these two levers. On each side, there's two levers to pull. think the very first time I ran the quest, I cleared the area, didn't pull the levers, had to run back and figure out where they were. All right, once we get out of this side, we want to go straight ahead to that next crystal room and again skip this middle area with the ladder because it's just an optional. There's some guys that are hard to get without ranged. I just generally skip optionals unless there's some compelling reason not to skip them, like loot mainly. All right, so this area, let's get this last ruse. This area, you get this trap sends, but I'm gonna put my hireling back here so he doesn't, I don't think he'll die on normal, but so he doesn't die. If you hit Q, you can see the valves, right? Just keep hitting Q until you get to the close one. I thought I saw one there. There it is. So we just want to run to the first one. And you saw the save. So we had a evasion. I'm going to click my expeditious retreat. Renew my shield clicky. And you can kind of time it. So I see the next one. I'm not going to bother highlighting it. But we'll probably make our save here. And we do have an acid ring. I don't think I have in my hotbar yet, but all right, you can see where the next valve is. Just run to it, and as you pull these valves, the traps turn off. So it's all off now, and it's a bigger deal as you get up higher difficulties. I haven't died to this trap. At least if I did die, it's a long time ago, and I don't remember. You usually, if you have evasion or a decent amount of hit points, this trap's not so bad. All right, let's see if there's any additional uses. Nope. So I'm gonna go back to my sword. You definitely want Featherfall for this. And I normally try to head in this direction, which puts you right on the valve. These guys won't follow you, so I'll generally just kill whatever's on the way. If you're running in a party, then I'll clear the area so other people don't have to face the mobs. You can see my quarterstaff's broken here that I've been using on the uses, so probably means when we get to Reaper, we're gonna really have a problem. So maybe we'll try to get that Dirks one first. There's a great club level 6 we could buy before we get to Reapers, but probably can't afford it, and it probably won't be available on the regular auction house. But I've sold it there before, and it's pretty easy to obtain. Well, not necessarily easy to obtain. There's a bound to account one we could get from a level 6 quest, and then there's I'm sorry. The one on the auction house is not a great club. It's just a level 6 club. It's a little better, but there's a bound to account one we might be able to get as well. We'll run some level 6 quests on normal and hard at level 6 just to see if we get some of the nice named items in there. All right, we're going to go ahead and run this quest even with our broken item. We have other quarterstaffs we could use if we run into it. I don't think there's uses in this quest. If there are, there's not very many. There's quite a few in this one. We just ran. All right, this quest, there's really two things you have to do. Find this guy who is a corpse behind one of these cells. And then secondly, you have to find his interrogator, who's always in the same place. But he's in a not a random place, but one of several places. So normally what I'll do is just go to the interrogator and get him first. He's always in the same place over this way, like left, basically. All right, nothing's following us. So that's one of the two things we have to do. That's a mandatory request. We'll get that if we don't do that objective first. We could do them out of order, any order. We will get that message when we find his corpse. But I always do this first because it's always in the same place. And then coming out of that room, uh, one place you could find him is if you go up straight here, is this corridor. On both sides, but I found him more commonly on this side. And you just kind of peek and you'll see a corpse. If you're having trouble, you could just open the gates. When I was newer, the way I used to do these optional guys, I don't worry about, but you can get them for a little more optional XP if you talk to each one of them. Uh, one time I've seen him on this side, only one time, so I know he could be here. It's not going to look like one of these skeletons. It's going to look like um, something bigger. All right, not here. So that's good. You'll be able to see some of the other spots. But it's pretty nice. It's like a 2-minute quest when he is there. Another common spot is here, but you potentially have a trap to worry about, or you do have a trap to worry about, and some wolves. So let's see if I can go and get that trap before the wolves start attacking me. Nope. But it's fine. Stay in the corner, and that way, if they attack you there, you won't have to worry about the trap, anyways. And this is the second. There's a little corridor here with a few alcoves, and this is a second spot that I've commonly found him. I think he's usually in like with the back cell, but I just checked them all. This one here is where I think I usually see him. Nope, not there. So that's good. You're seeing all the spots where at least I've most commonly found him. And then the third place is kind of in the back section back here. He could be in the one we just checked, but the reason here is there's, I think, 2 to 3 spots here he can be. All right, well, he's close. We've highlighted him. Now that we have him highlighted, it's a little easier to see if we missed him. But he's probably on the other side, which, nope, there he is. right there, you can see that's how he looks. He looks sort of not like a skeleton, but more like a corpse. He can be hard to see. All right, and all we do is click on him, and the quest is over. So we're maxed out on XP. Everything we do the rest of this level, we're not going to get any XP, but that's okay. Then we just have to run back. It's actually quicker to recall uh, to the first quest area to get our end reward and get the quest again. And I'll end the video and I'll just get my quest reward when I go to do the hard